Hey guys, Jamie with SavorySaver here, and today we're going to make a gluten-free crust using Cheerios. Some people say that they have issues with Cheerios, especially if they're celiac. My wife is gluten intolerant. She eats Cheerios on a regular basis for her breakfast and doesn't have any issues with it. They are marked gluten-free, clearly on the box, but sometimes there is cross-contamination. Some people have issues. If you don't have any issues with Cheerios, this is a good recipe for you to try out for a crust. So let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is to get our Cheerios and make them into crumbs. So I've got 3 3/4 cups of whole Cheerios, and we're gonna put them in the food processor and process it down until it's about 1.5 cups of Cheerio crumbs. So let's do that now. Okay guys, so we've got our Cheerios processed down into some crumbs. So we're gonna pour those in there. It's okay, there's a couple large pieces. This is similar to a graham cracker crust. So if you were making a graham cracker crust out of whole graham crackers, it would be about the same consistency. And to this, we're going to add 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar. You can use light brown sugar, dark brown sugar. If you don't want to use brown sugar, you could use granulated sugar. So we're going to pour that in there, break it up. We're also going to add some butter. We're going to add 6 tablespoons of butter. We're going to give it a mix. Breaking up that brown sugar. Now that we have everything mixed up, we're going to put it in our pie crust. You want to treat it just like you would if you were doing a graham cracker crust. Put the crumbs in. Then we want to press it into the bottom and up the sides. This is a 9-inch pie crust. You can use the bottom of a glass or a cup or something to press it in there tightly. And then if you have a smaller pie dish, you're probably going to have either extra crust, or you're going to have, it's going to spill over the top. So you can probably drop back a little bit on the Cheerios and the melted butter and the sugar if you have that kind of pie pan. The oven is preheating to 350 degrees. So I've got this almost ready. This crust will work well with pies that aren't baked. So if you're familiar with chocolate cream pies, maybe with the chocolate pudding filling, banana cream pies, think about those kind of things for using in this crust, something that you're not going to bake. We're going to bake the crust once and it's done. We're not going to put it back in to bake again. So that looks good. If you're adjusting down the amount of Cheerios because you have a smaller pie pan, it takes about 2.5 cups of Cheerios to make 1 cup of crumbs. So that gives you something to go on to make a smaller amount, and then mess around with the butter amount a little bit, probably a tablespoon at a time to see what works. And the sugar level, It's going to depend on what kind of Cheerios you're using. If you're using Honey Nut, there's more sugar in them. But if you're using regular Cheerios, there's a lot less. So for my Honey Nut Cheerios, I'm using a 1/4 cup of brown sugar in mine, or you could use white sugar. If you've got regular Cheerios, you might want to bump that amount up a little bit. So start out with 1/3 cup of sugar or brown sugar and see if that works. So now that we've got our pie crust all made, we're going to pop it in the oven. It's going to go in there for 8 to 10 minutes until it's lightly golden brown, and then we're going to cool it completely for about 30 minutes. So I'm going to get this in the oven and see you back here in a few minutes. Okay guys, we're back. We baked our gluten-free Cheerios crust for about 9 minutes. It's cooled. It's been 30 minutes. So now we're good to go with our recipe. Again, this would work well with those no-bake pies like banana cream or a chocolate cream. Leave your comments below what kind of pie you're going to make in this and let everyone know so they have some options and ideas. The other thing is, if Cheerios do bother you, even though they're gluten-free, let everyone know down below what you use instead of Cheerios. Do you make these kind of crusts? And if so, what do you use for them? I hope you guys give this recipe a try and find some pies to put in them. You can find more of my videos here on YouTube. You can also find links to the recipe in the description down below. That's over on my blog, SavorySaver.com. Please remember to hit that likes button as well as a subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks, guys.